Hey guys, it's me Meteor. Here we are to my final episode of my Q&A. So let's go and start it off here with a question from Fearless Fab, which says, if you could get one of the unexplained points in the Kirby lore explained, possibly in that new game, what would it be? Kirby's origins, or maybe more on dark matter? I would definitely say the ancients. I want to know more about them, an origin story, something. Like they constantly, well, now they're recently talking about all these artifacts the ancients made and with all the things they've sealed away. I want to know what caused them to get to that point in the first place. Maybe go back in time or something. I think that'd be really neat. But I don't know. Let's see if that happens in the future. Teresa Beckwadi, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name. Before you made your What is Kirby Canon series, did you expect the lore to be so deep? Honestly, no. I was expecting the episode of Kirby Canon. A fun fact, I've said this before, in fact, I know I have. Originally, my Kirby Canon series was going to be just one episode where I talked about everything in the Kirby lore in one episode. Well, it turned out to end up being a series because there was a lot to talk about. I mean, eventually RPG Monger did that all in one video, so you kind of missed a few things, kind of summarized some other stuff, but no big deal there. Pretty much, if you notice my first episodes, the ones that are outdated or whatever, or even the first one in general, you might notice that I do a lot better job explaining now than I did then. That's because back then, all I was doing was speaking from my heart of what I knew about Kirby, rather than doing personal research myself, which I kind of regret now. But I'm remaking those episodes anyway, so who cares? But yeah, I wasn't expecting the lore to be that deep in the Kirby series. That even surprised me. And of course, now everyone knows it's deep, so there's that. But this is before that time. Bethany Bradley says, which backstory in Kirby lore do you think is the saddest? That's kind of hard. I would say, I don't know, maybe Taranza's. The fact he's still beating himself up over it and still trying to get Sectonia back to the point where it's driving him literally insane. Well, I don't know. I feel that's pretty bad for him, honestly. Zav draws. What is your opinion on the supposed new direction the Kirby franchise is going in after Star Allies? I hear many people talk about this new direction in this interview or whatever. I have yet to see anyone link such an interview of where they said this. If you know of it, please tell me because I have yet to find it. I've tried searching for it. I cannot find it. But if they did in fact say that there's going to a new direction after Superstar, or Star Allies rather, well, I'll wait and see. I hope it's going to be nice. I hope it really will be a new direction. But, I don't know. We saw Pokemon try to go in a new direction, and they, well, to be fair, X and Y were, or Sun and Moon were pretty good. At least in my opinion. But, whatever, that's a whole different thing. We'll see. Awful Beast 3596 says, are you going to talk about the Kirby anime at all on your channel? Maybe do a collab with Antitude because he also loves Kirby. I've said it time and time again, I'm not the biggest fan of the anime. I've never enjoyed it as a kid. Even as a big fan of Kirby as a kid, I tried watching it, it just made me upset because I kept on trying to compare with the games and how inaccurate it was to the games, and I didn't like those side characters and stuff either. In terms of collabing with Antdude, as I said before, I would love to do that, but it's a lot harder than just saying I would love to collab with him. You have to say, sure, I would love to collab with you. Fasa HD3 says, is getting to this point in your YouTube career as awesome as you thought it would be? Is it starting to feel more like a job? Uh, I don't know, like, that's kind of an interesting question there. Uh, I don't know. I remember way back when I was just starting my YouTube career, when I was just doing Pokemon battles, even getting 100 subscribers was huge to me. It was big. And now I'm at like around 36,000 subscribers. So, wait, no. Hold on. Where am I at now? Maybe it is 36. Maybe it's 20. Maybe it's 3,100. No, I think it is 36. Why am I talking about that? Anyway, point is, when I got that huge influx of subscribers, it's like the more subscribers you get, the less of a huge impact it seems like, which I feel bad about sometimes. It's like, wow, I just got 8,000 subscribers. I'm like, oh, I was expecting a lot more than that. No, stop thinking like that. It's like I just feel bad thinking that way. So it's like as I get more subscribers, the new subscribers don't seem as big. I don't know how to really explain that. Maybe explaining it bad. I mean, I still love upload. I'm not gonna say it. Does it start to feel like a job? I don't know, not really. I mean, it's more like I still feel it more as a hobby. It's just that it might feel like more like a job, not because I'm getting tired of uploading, but simply because the everyday anxieties of life and stress and other things to worry about tend to conflict with my upload schedule. It's like having a job, being married, all that stuff, all those responsibilities make uploading harder, which makes it seem like a job. It's make more work for me to do. But I don't think of it as a job, as in I hate making videos. If that's what you're saying, I don't know. I still think it was quite awesome to see Matt Pat even talk about me like that. That was huge. That really made me feel awesome. And once again, I thank you all for supporting me. I don't want you to think that I don't care about subscribers. That's not what I'm trying to say. I just have a bad way of explaining things sometimes, and they probably did there. Whoops. Epic Blue Tiger 172 says, "What inspired you to start YouTube, and what inspires you to continue it? Have you ever thought of quitting?" What inspires me to continue it is definitely the fans. Seeing all you guys support and everything, enjoying all my videos. That's why I continue to upload. I love uploading and seeing your comments from time to time. Honestly, I don't even make much from this channel at all. I really don't. But just seeing the comments is what drives me to continue it. What inspired me to start YouTube? I think it was probably selfish reasons, honestly. Although I did see Chugga Conroy, like I talked to Chugga Conroy before he even became Chugga Conroy. Like I talked to him before he even started YouTube. When I met him at some, met him at some GameStop for a Smash Brothers Brawl tourney back upon the Smash Brothers Brawl launch in Florida, and we got to talking. Then he was telling me about his YouTube channel and stuff, how it was getting popular. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I saw a few other people uploading Pokemon battles, and that's what made me to start wanting to uploading Pokemon battles. And that's also why one of my first videos on my channel, and my first narrated thing on my channel, was my unknown sweep I did. And that's the oldest thing on my channel that still exists. There were two Pokemon battles I had before that, but that was just music entirely. And it's funny though, that first episode, or that first video I did with the unknown sweep, I talked about unknown lore at the beginning of that video before getting to the battle itself. It's kind of funny looking back at that. It's like, huh, how is it that I started talking about lore in a sense from my first video without even realizing it, and now talking about lore all the time? It's like the thing of my channel. It's kind of funny, really. Have I ever thought of quitting? Multiple times, yes. I have a personal goal to where I don't. Okay, let me see. How can I say this without thinking or scaring people here? My goal is to get at least 100,000 subscribers before I quit, because I would like to have a nice little reminder on my wall of the times where I used to do YouTube if I ever do quit in the future. I will probably not be quitting anytime soon. I was thinking about quitting specifically when Planet Robot was coming out. My channel was absolutely dead at that time. I was seeing views were getting lower and lower and lower and lower, and I really couldn't do anything to really improve them. So I figured to hype up the launch of Robobot, I would start talking about Kirby Cannon. And as you could tell, that worked out lovely and really made a huge boost to my channel. Very, very thankful for that. Once again, yes, I got Planet Robot spoiled for me many times over because of that series, but that's a small price to pay. Oh well, not really a big deal there. But in terms of quitting after that, I don't know. I don't really think of quitting anytime soon, honestly. So don't worry about that. Pretty much if I was to quit later, if I'll just continue talking about that. The only time I would really think about quitting is maybe once I start having children or something, or a child, whatever. Because, well, I'm not sure. It's all going to be a matter of time, and if I would really have the time to continue uploading, because responsibilities of life would trump YouTube any day. That's my viewpoint. Let's see here. Pizza Master. Who is my least favorite Kirby character? Well, I guess it's two characters, Pawn and Con. Enough said. Wolf and Fox Gamer. When were you introduced into the Kirby fandom, and what do you like and don't like about it? Well, what introduced me to the Kirby fandom? What did introduce me to the Kirby fandom? Well, I know, like I said before, I was originally posting just Pokemon battles. I was originally a Pokemon battling channel. And, well, I started uploading Let's Plays of Kirby. Like my first lesson was Kirby 64. And I started doing other ones. I noticed I was getting more attention to my Kirby stuff than my Pokemon battles, and one thing led to another. But in terms of what got me into the Kirby fandom, I don't know. I just loved Kirby ever since I saw Kirby as a little kid. Like I said, my parents couldn't really afford too many video games, so they got me a Game Boy and a Super Mario Land, which I played for ages. But on the back of the Game Boy box, there was a preview for they had little pictures of each game for the Game Boy. Before the internet was a huge crazy thing. And I saw Kirby's Dream Land on there. I really liked the way the character looked. I've always wanted to play the games, and I've always wanted to enjoy it. I guess that's how I got into Kirby in general, not the fandom. Uh, so moving on to the second part of that question, what do I like and don't like about the fandom? I do love how it is one of the most tame fandoms I've ever been a part of. I've been a part of Metroid, My Little Pony, Doctor Who. Like there are a whole bunch of different fandoms I can't even remember right now. Uh, Metroid. Did I say Metroid? Pokemon. All of them have some horrible issues that they need to work out with themselves in terms of the. Oh my! How the Metroid fandom handled Federation Force just blew my mind. Yes, that was a terrible idea for a game, but starting a petition to have someone get fired and cancel the game because of it, that's a little bit of a stretch. That's tame compared to some of the other fandoms I've seen too. I could go into a whole rant about the Pokemon fandom specifically, but I'm not going to do that here. But the Kirby fandom, I never see them complain about pretty much anything. The biggest complaint I've seen was of Epic Yarn. They're like, "Oh, I want a traditional Kirby game," simply because that we haven't had a traditional console Kirby game for 11 years before that, and we were all promised Kirby GCN before Epic Yarn came out. People were disappointed. People said, "Well, I'll still give the game a shot." That's the biggest drama I've seen. But what do I like about the fandom? I would like to see more fan games from the fandom. I mean, there are ROM hacks of like every other game I could think of. There are Kaizo runs of Mario, Metroid, Mega Man, Pokemon. Like they're pretty much crazy amounts of realm hacks for every other franchise except Kirby. I think there are maybe 3 finished Kirby platforming games. There's Kirby's Dream Land Advance, which I guess still has none of the extra mode. There's Invaders from the Dark and Kirby Return to Dreamland, not to be confused with the Kirby Return to Dreamland GameCube game or Wii game. I think, am I missing one? I'm pretty sure that's it. And that upsets me. Another thing that kind of upset me was seeing all the backlash and threats over MatPat's video. I mean, yes, MatPat didn't do a very good job explaining the lore for Kirby in that one video. I don't think it was bad enough to the point where people would harass him and get him to the point of canceling his second part. I mean, I think it was cool he promoted me on his video, yes, but honestly, I would have liked to see that second episode just to see what he was going to do with it. I gotta be honest. It's like I play Sonic 06 because of how bad it is. Play W06 to see how bad it is. I would be curious to see where he was going to go with this second episode, but I don't know. That was probably not. That was probably the worst thing I've seen the Kirby fandom do, probably ever, which is still a lot better than I see with most fandoms do with pretty much anything ever. Anyway, let's see here. Moving on, Esquire Lyricist says, since you're one of the few people to LP Paper Mario Sticker Star because you like/tolerate it, would you ever LP Paper Mario Color Splash? I was considering it several times. The only thing that keeps me from doing so is the 100% requirement of trying to paint every single splotch on the map. And that's extremely tedious, and I don't even know how I would even begin to try and make that exciting to Let's Play. Alright, gonna hit this splotch, and this one, and alright, I'm getting bored. I mean, maybe I could not 100% that particular part, except there's a cutscene at the end of the game specifically for 100% that I would miss out on if I missed that. So that's the only thing that keeps me from Let's Playing Color Splash. And in terms of Sticker Star, After playing Color Splash and how it fixed pretty much every issue I had with Sicker Star, and how there's an actual story and how Sicker Star has no real relevance to the story whatsoever, I would probably recommend at this point that Sicker Star just isn't played and just plays Color Splash instead. I'm not the biggest fan of Sicker Star much anymore because, like I said, Color Splash pretty much killed it. But once again, less playing it is a whole nother question. Samuel Veet says, what made you get into the whole plush thing? You know, when you play with your plushies, and if the series happens to come back, will your wife be in it to give a realistic vibe to the female characters? And yeah, sorry for all that cringe you experienced by reading that question. Yeah, that plush thing started when, once again, when I was Pokemon battling. I used to have, I see people do like their stream intros and things. So I'm like, what should I do for a stream intro? And I just thought, well, I have a Charizard plushie here. Let me talk about how awesome Charizard is. And kind of went from there. And yeah, then I said, hey, let me make a little series of it. Mostly now the plushies are used to rant about Neopets because, or at least whenever I can. I haven't talked about Neopets for a while because there's nothing about Neopets to talk about much anymore. Well, there is all negative things, but being as not, I don't think there are too many Neopets fans left on my channel. That's another thing I used to do on my channel. Neopets stuff, mainly the console games and ranting about the website. I don't think they've actually played the website on my channel once. Well, that's not true. I did a joke April Fool's video about that one time, but yeah. Obviously, it doesn't really have much place on my channel anymore. I was thinking about maybe, because May 2nd is technically my anniversary on Neopets, so I tend to always do like an anniversary video with the plushies on that. I was thinking, I had one in mind for this year, but the problem is, no one would really get it, because there are so many new people here who've never seen a single plushie video, and would just be like, what's that? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? And I'll probably lose subscribers, which I think I did from the last plushie video I did. Joseph, if Kirby didn't inspire the channel, what series would you have done your work on? Once again, Pokemon. But that didn't really work out. I was even promoted by a couple big YouTubers at that time, and big at that time was about 10,000 subscribers. And I got like 200 subscribers from the promotion of them, which was nice. But eventually it just devolved to a whole thing of people insulting me and saying I need to stop talking to the second person in my narrations and things like that. The comments were far worse than that, trust me. Far worse. And part of the reason why I kind of went away from the Pokemon fandom entirely. But that's another story. Aside from Kirby, I would probably say Metroid. I'm always a big fan of Metroid. I was a huge fan of Metroid. I even went back when I started doing internet forums. My alias was a giant Metroid thing, and I'm still a huge fan of Metroid. So yeah, that's probably what if it wasn't Pokemon or Kirby. Tracy Thomas says, what are some content creators who inspired you to make your own videos? I think I already answered that question before. Trigger Conroy, Xenon3120 when he was really big on, or is it 3210? I don't even remember anymore. There are a few, like he was one of my favorite Pokemon battlers at that time, and he's one of the ones who promoted me, so that's cool. I'm not sure how he's doing now, though. Trigger Conroy is prevailing, so that's cool for him. Let's see here. Uh, Proconian says, can we expect Meteorz merch in the near future or really any time at all? I was well, I mean, for one, I'm not even sure who would purchase Meteorz merchandise. I'm not even sure what I would do. A coffee cup, a t-shirt that has my squishy insignia on it? I don't know. Do you have any ideas of what you'd want for merchandise? Why am I saying furniture for? I mean, if you guys are really interested in buying merch from me, sure, I could set something up, but I haven't really had the drive to do so because I'm pretty sure there wouldn't really be much of a market for it, and I don't think I have enough subscribers to really kind of profit off that. It would just seem more, what's the word? Money baiting? No. Sellout? I don't know. I guess, I don't know, whatever. Let's move on to the last question here from Void Nathan. In the past, you said you wanted to do a Let's Play of Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, but you instead opted to play Crystal Shards first instead. How would things be different if you went with your original idea? That is a very good question. For those who don't know the background behind that, originally, when I wanted to do my first Let's Play on my channel, it wasn't going to be a Kirby game. It was going to be Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness. And it was a game that, at that time, no one else Let's Played. You know, I was YouTubing at a time when no one really Let's Played other games. In fact, I was the first English person to do a Let's Play of Star Fox Adventures. In fact, there are a lot of games I did that didn't really have didn't have much attention. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness was one of them. So I was on one of the bigger YouTubers' chats one time, and he said, and I was on the chat with him, and I was talking to him, and I asked him what I thought of the idea. I was telling everyone in the chat what my next Let's Play was going to be, and how it was Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and that it was a game that it was a Pokemon game that people would have liked to see that wasn't really played that much. People were like, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Yeah, I would watch it." About a week or two later, if that, three big name YouTubers all let's play the game at the exact same time before my capture card could even deliver. So then I was just like, you know what? Fine, I'm doing Kirby instead. And that was a happy accident. Would my channel have really lived on if I went with XD instead? Maybe I would have never gone the Kirby direction at all. Maybe I would still be doing Pokemon. Maybe I would have quit a long time ago. I don't know. It's kind of hard to imagine how my channel would have been if I went with my original idea in the first place. Now, eventually I did revisit Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, and it did happen to be one of my most viewed Let's Plays at that time. Now, obviously, all my top viewed ones are Kirby, and Neopets the Darkest Fairy, oddly enough. That's my second highest viewed Let's Play on my channel, which is really weird. I did not expect that either when I originally did it, which makes me feel bad because I insulted it so badly in the first episode and drew a lot of people away. Live and learn. But that's pretty much all the questions. I thank you all for sending them in. If you have any more questions, once again, whenever I'm on a stream, I will like to answer your questions as I'm streaming the game. I'm always up for answering questions. You can even ask me on Twitter or Facebook, preferably Twitter, because I'm more active on Twitter than I'm on Facebook. And the notification system on Facebook is absolute garbage. Anyway, hope to see you guys next time, so I'll see you guys then.